This is the solution to the challenge I called Challenge for Xmen Battle Count. Okay, so we're going to use the trademark term Xmen in homage and find out for each X-Man in our array how many battles that they fought, and find the X-Man with the most battles fought and the least battles fought. Okay, so we're going to get, well, we start off with a project. It's a little bit different than what we normally did, like I said in the previous video. And I've unzipped the starting point to my desktop, and now I'm going to copy the project folder to my projects directory. And you can see that I've already added a favorites to my project directory. I'll show you how to do that in just a moment, but I'm just going to right-click and say paste. All right, so now you can see that the folder that I provided you is now in my projects directory. If there's ever a folder that you want to put here in your favorites, all you got to do, it's real simple, just find it. So let's drill down to projects, for example, and then drag and drop it into into place before or after one of the items that are already in the favorites. All right, I don't want to do that right now. Okay, so let's get back into our project, and I'm just going to double-click the solution file to get started. And we give this as a means of a starting point so that you don't have to do a lot of work. There's simply a result label on the default.aspx page, and we're going to work in the page load just like we did in the previous lesson when we were talking about for loops and arrays and such. Okay, so we've already got our names and numbers array, and if you recall, the way that this works is that we're syncing these up again by index, just like we did in a previous exercise. So Professor X has 7 battles fought, Iceman has 9 battles fought, Angel has 12 battles fought, and so on. And we're looking for the X-Man with the most battles and the least battles, and we're going to print that out into the result label. Okay? So what we need to do is we're going to iterate through using a for loop. And we're going to use that same index that is currently being considered. So we'll look for at the 0 index, the 1 index, the 2 index, and we're going to see, is this the most battles that we've seen so far? Is this the least battles that we've seen so far? And we need to keep track of the index for each of those. So we need to find out the index for the most battles and the index for the least battles, and just keep those around like in a variable. So let's start with that. I'm going to keep a variable that contains, so int largest number index, and we'll start off by just, with 0, and then int smallest number index equals 0. Okay, let's get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. And now what we want to do is we're going to do our for loop. So I'm going to for tab tab, and I'm going to go I0, and we're going to go as long as where names.length, like so. All right. So we're going to loop through once for each item in our array, in our names array. We'll just assume that it has the same number of elements as the numbers array. Okay, so here's where we got to do 2 if statements. We're going to check to see, is this the largest count so far? And then, is this the smallest count so far? All right, so this really becomes easy at this point. If numbers I is greater than numbers largest number index, then we'll set the largest number index equal to I. All right, so if this is the biggest number we've seen so far, then set our little variable here to that current index, and we'll use that then for the next iteration to see, well, is the next X-Man battle count larger than the one that we considered originally or in the previous run? And we'll just keep comparing them against the largest one. And the same will be true in reverse for the smallest. So if numbers I is less than numbers smallest number index, then the smallest number index equals I. Okay? And then the very last thing we'll need to do is just create that result string. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. I'm not going to give you style points or take them off if you don't do it the way that I do it. I'm just going to do a string format and a second string format. So the most battles belong to, and then I'll put the actual number of battles here, like so, which means that we're going to need to give it the name's largest number index, and then the number's largest number index. All right, and then I'm going to do result plus equals string dot format. The least battles belong to, kind of the same idea here, and then the value. Now we already know what this should come out to be because we can eye it up, and then I also added that comment at the very top of the code. All right. So hopefully that all makes sense, and then we'll just go result label dot text equals result. So we know that we would expect to see Wolverine has the fewest and Phoenix has the most. So if we solve this correctly, that should be what we see. Okay. One little problem here. Let me add a break and then run it again. Okay, that's more like it. Okay, so the most battles belong to Phoenix and the least battles belong to Wolverine, just as we set out to find. Okay, so that's the solution. Hopefully this made sense, this little technique of looking for the most and the least by using the largest number index we found so far and the smallest number index we found so far, and keep comparing each value in the arrays against those numbers. Okay. So if this didn't make sense to you, or if you got lost, or if you didn't complete it, don't worry. What I'd recommend is that, again, try it again tomorrow. Don't move past this until you've mastered the technique and you've mastered the thought process. All right, so hope you made it. We're going to continue on with another iteration statement in the next lesson. We'll see you there. Thanks.